प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So let us all take nice sankalpa that we'll have wonderful temple for Lord Jagannath. We get a very nice land for Jagannath. So even then Manjari is going to take sankalpa. Yes, you should also take sankalpa. Pray to Krishna. Yes, you should pray to Lord Jagannath. Om Govinda 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 Om Tatsadakya Brahmani Titiya Parade Shri Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvatakya Manvantare Ashtavimshati Kaliyugasya Prathama Sandhyayam Brahma Vimshato Vartamanayam Uttaranayane Vasanta Ruto Govindamasi Shuklapakshe Navami Titho Mangalvaran Varanvitayam Punarvasu नक्षत्रे भूमंडले जम्बूद्वीपे भारतवर्षे भारतखंडे वेदिभूतस्य सुमेरो दक्षिणे नवनारणमस्य उत्तरे कोणे गंगायाः पश्चिमे भागे श्रीथाने ग्रामे श्रीविग्रह ब्राह्मण वैष्णव वह्नि सन्निधौ एवं गुण विशेषण विशिष्टायास्याः शुभतिथौ श्री श्री राधा गोविंद प्रीत्यर्थम श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुपुत्र सुदर्शन प्रीत्यर्थम श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह प्रीत्यर्थम नित्य होमं वयं करिष्ये. Purification. ओम वैष्णव नामाग्नि यहा गच्छाग्नि त्वं वैष्णव नामासि श्री विष्णुस्तेजे वायं श्री वैष्णव नामाग्नि. सो आज के यजमान है मनोरमा माताजी, घाटे माताजी की मम्मी मदर 83 इयर्स ओल्ड की है. हम यही प्रार्थना करेंगे कि माताजी को हमेशा भक्ति में भगवान अग्रसर रखे और भागवत प्रभु जो मंदिर में मीरा रोड मंदिर में वरिष्ठ भक्त हैं, ब्रह्मचारी हैं, वसुदेव पुजारी हैं, मंदिर के राधा गिरधारी जी के पुजारी हैं. उनका तबीयत थोड़ा सा ठीक नहीं है, इसीलिए हम उनके लिए भी प्रार्थना करेंगे. तो उनका एक ही चेतना रहता है किस प्रकार से भगवान का अच्छा सेवा करो, और कमल चंद्र प्रभु जी का भी बहुत अच्छा सेवा करते हैं. तो हम सब उनके लिए भी प्रार्थना करेंगे कि उनका स्वास्थ्य ठीक हो जाए. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे. राइट हैंड Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. राइट हैंड से स्थान दीप का होता है ना, उस दीप को स्थान को राइट हैंड से हो गया। सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फला सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्पदा स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वांतो दिदात्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। परमानंद पाटनाय प्रेमवक्षक्षराय ते सर्वंदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुते स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मद्महाधन मन्निष्ठारक मद्भाग्य मदानन्द नमोस्तुते स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। असाधु साधु दत्ताये नतिनी चोचतारत हालमुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा वृत्कण्ठयो स्फुरः स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। अहमेवासमेवाग्रे नान्यद्यत् सत् असत्परं पश्चादहमत् यदेतच्च यो अवशिष्येत सोऽस्म्यहं स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। ऋते ऋतं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा वासो यथात्मः स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। यथा महन्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चाश्वशेषु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहं स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। एतावदेव जिज्ञासं तत्त्वजिज्ञासनात्मनः अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यत् स्यात् सर्वतः सर्वदा स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। Open the verses which is there. Third chapter, third canto, 15th chapter, 5th verse onwards. Namo Vigyana Viryaya Mayayedam Upeyushe Gurvita Guna Bhedaya Namaste Apyaktayunaye Swaha. Idam Vishnave Idam Namama. Etanyena Bhavena Bhavayanti Atma Bhavanam Atmani Prota Bhuvanam Param Sat Asat आत्मकं स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। तेषां सुपक्व योगानां जितश्वासेन्द्रियात्मनां लब्धयश्मात् प्रसादानां न कुतश्चित् प्रभावः स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। यस्य वाचा प्रजा सर्वा गावस्तत्त्वेव यन्त्रितः हरन्ति बलिम् आयतश् तस्मै मुख्याय ते नमः स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। सत्त्वं विदत्स्व असं भूमंस्तमसा लुप्तकर्मणाम् अभद्रतया दृष्ट्या आपन्नान् अर्हसि क्षितुं स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। एष देवदितेर्गर्भ अजः काश्यपम् अर्पितं दिशस्तिमिरयन् सर्वा वर्धते अग्नि इवैदशी स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। कुमार ऊचुः नो अन्तर्हितो हृदि गतोऽपि दुरात्मनां त्वं सोऽद्यैव नो नयनमूलम् अनन्तराधम् यर्हि एव कर्णाविवरेण गुहां गतो नः पित्रानुवर्णिता रहा भवद्भुद्भवेन स्वाहा। इदं विष्णवे इदं नमः। तं त्वां विदामः भगवन् परमात्मतत्त्वं सत्त्वेन सम्प्रतिरतिं रचयन्तम् येषां यत्ते अनुताप विदितैर्दृढः भक्तिर्योगैर् उद्ग्रन्थया हृदि विदुर्मुनयो विरागः स्वाहा इदं विष्णवेदं नमः ओम पूर्णं होमं यशसे विष्णवे जुहोमि योऽस्मै विष्णवे जुहोति स वरमस्मै ददाति विष्णो वरं वृणे यशसभामि लोको स्वाहा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय दंडा दंडा दंडाय दंडा दंडा दंडाय हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः ito Narsimha Bhagato Narsimha yato yato yami kato Narsimha yato yato yami kato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Ridhaine Narsimha ईशवद्वीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल भरे केशवधीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह जय 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 नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद श्रोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। क्षमा याचना करते हुए ओम अज्ञानिनां मया दोषान् न शेषां विहितान् हरे क्षमस्तत्वं क्षमस्तत्वं शेषशैलशिखामणे ओम अज्ञानिनां मया दोषान् न शेषां विहितान् हरे क्षमस्तत्वं क्षमस्तत्वं शेषशैलशिखामणे ओम अज्ञानिनां मया दोषान् न शेषां विहितान् हरे क्षमस्तत्वं क्षमस्तत्वं शेषशैलशिखामणे। भार्गव नरसिंहा 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 चतुर्थ नरसिंहा चतुर्थ नरसिंहा चतुर्थ नरसिंहा चतुर्थ नरसिंहा Yoga Narasimha, 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 Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha. Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha, Pavan Narasimha, Karanjana Simha, 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 Ahodila Narasimha, 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 Thoda Narasimha, Thoda Narasimha, Thoda Narasimha, Thoda Narasimha. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Agni samudra. Om Agnitam samudram gaccha. Go Devi to the Devi senses. Om Tam Shitalo Bhava. Om Shitalo Bhava. Om Shitalo Bhava. Second canto Bhagavatam, 9th chapter. The answers to the questions raised by Parikshit Maharaj. Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Shodanandana Vraja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Jaya Goramita, 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 Jaya Goramita, Jaya Goramita, Goramita, Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्तकांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Please mute your phones. Sound is coming. So very wonderful chapter. Oh, Brahmaji showed us an example that tapasya is very much important. Without tapasya, one cannot attain God. So we are in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Brahmaji is our spiritual master. So how Brahmaji gave this knowledge to Narada, then Narada giving this knowledge to Vyasa, and in this way it flows down through the cyclic succession. So in the previous chapter, 8th chapter of the second canto, we saw the different questions placed by Parikshit Maharaj. In fact, Parikshit Maharaj was eager to know his duty at the time of quitting the body. And what should be the duty of the people in general? Also, what should be the duty of a person leaving the body? So at the time of death, what should he remember? This, there were various questions, and he asked, how did Brahma got this knowledge? Then how this whole creation happened? Why the living entities are entangled in this material life? What is the way out to get liberation? What is the process? How is the abode of Krishna? So there are so many questions which are asked by Parikshit Maharaj. Haribol? Let's see, kiss come mute. So let us see. First verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atma Maya Mriti Rajan Prasayanu Bhavatmanaha Na Ghate Tartha Sambandaha Swapna Darshur Ivanjasa. Sukadeva Goswami says, Atma Maya Mriti Rajan. Actually, there is an energy of Krishna, and that energy is Maya energy of Krishna. It's the external energy of Krishna. So a living entity, though he is very pure, his consciousness is very pure, but if he is influenced by the energy of Krishna, he does not remember his relationship with the Lord. If he is not influenced by Maya, he has nothing to do with the material body. It is actually the influence of Maya which entangles a person with this material body. If he is not influenced, he has nothing to do with this material body. So it is like a dreamer seeing his own body working. This relationship between the pure soul and the material body is like you are seeing in a dream some form. It is like a dream actually. So what was Parikshit Maharaj's question? His question was, how a living entity began his material life? How did he start? So how to understand where was the beginning of this material life? This external energy is actually controlled by the Lord. How this living entity, which is also controlled by the Lord, get entangled in this material world, in this material consciousness. Living entity is actually pure by nature. Mamai vansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So when the material energy is pure by nature, how did this material energy get influenced in this material world? Sarvasvachaham hridi sannishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna says, matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna is there, is seated in everyone's heart, giving the knowledge, giving forgetfulness, giving the memory also. And sarvasvachaham hridi sannishto. Krishna is present in each and every living entity's heart. Then how come the living entity's consciousness and influence, and how this consciousness and how it is influenced by the Supreme Personality of God? It is He who gives the forgetfulness also. It is He who gives the memory also. It is He who gives the knowledge also, as per the desire of the living entity. So this was the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj, that how did a living entity began his material life? Bahurupaiva bhati maya bahurupaya ramamo ramar mano guneshwasya mamaham iti manyate. So now the living entity, being illusioned by this Maya, gets various forms offered by the external energy. So there are 84 lakh species. There are 11 lakh species of insects itself. There are 1 lakh species of birds. We are not talking about the quantity of birds. We are talking about all the population of the birds. We are talking about the various species of the birds. There are 10 lakh species. Pakshinam Dashalakshanam Rudra Sankyanam Krimeha Rudra Sankyanam Pakshinam Dasalakshanam Jalajanavalakshani. There are 9 lakhs species of aquatics. So in this, there are 4 lakh species of humans. In this 84 lakh species, this is offered by the external energy of the Lord. There are various forms where address is given. And in all these engagement, what he feels, he gets this term, I and mine. I am so and so, misidentification of one's own body. So as soon as the living entity becomes situated in his constitutional glory position, that means as soon as he starts remembering his constitutional position that I am servant of Krishna, he immediately gives up this two misconception of life, that is I and mine. That is how till the point of devotional service, the person will be engaged in this I and mine philosophy, cattish and doggish philosophy. He says, O king, the personality of Godhead being very much pleased with Lord Brahma. Now Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parishit Maharaj that Lord was so pleased with Parishit Maharaj. Atma tattva vishuddhyartam yat aha bhagavan rutam brahmane darshayam rupam avanikaha pratadritaha. So then Lord was very pleased with Brahma because he did a lot of penance in Bhakti Yoga. Then Lord presented his transcendental form before Brahma. And that is the object goal for every purifying the conditioned soul. So one of the questions raised by Parishit Maharaj was how to purify our consciousness. One should have the darshan of Lord. Lord himself, very much pleased by one's tapasya, one's sadhana, reveals himself to the devotee. Our sadhana should be very pure. We should chant the holy name very sincerely. If we chant sincerely, it is Krishna who will present himself before the devotee. Now Brahma, he is the first spiritual master. Now when Brahma heard the sound, he could not trace out. Actually, when Brahma was placed on the source of on the top of the lotus flower, he was trying to find out where this lotus flower starts from. He was trying to find out the source of this lotus seed, but he was not able to find out. And then he was given the responsibility of creating the material world. But he was not getting that enough direction also how to create. Okay, the charge has been given, but how to do that? So then he could not even understand how to even do the process of creation. Because how this whole creation happened, that was a question of Parishit Maharaj. So then Sukadeva Goswami is saying, even while thinking about how to create also, he was not able to understand what is the process of creation. Though Brahma is in charge for the secondary creation, Brahma was not properly yet guided about the process of creation. And he is trying to find out the source of his lotus, the lotus seed. So in this way, he was thinking what to do, how to start creation. Somebody should be there to guide. Like a paper is there, scissor is there, everything is there. You don't know how to do a craft. Somebody has to guide now, even how to make an aeroplane. Somebody has to guide. Paper aeroplane is there, you should hold like this, you should hold like that. Some guidance should be there. Now Brahmaji is thinking, who is going to guide me? At that time he heard two syllables. Ta, pa, tap. Like this he heard twice. And that became the wealth of his renounced order. In the purpose, Srila Prabhupada says in Sanskrit language, the alphabets are divided into two divisions, the consonant alphabets. Sparsha Varna, Talabhya Varna. In the Sparsha Varna, it starts with K, K, and ends with ma. We have heard ka, kha, ga, gha, na, cha, cha, ja, ja. Then it comes. Like that, if you count 16th letter, it is ta. So you have to do the research at home. What is that 16th letter? That is ta. What is the 21st letter? That is pa. So in the sparsha varna, you have ta, you have pa. It starts with ka, it ends with ma. So in this sparsha varna, ta, pa has been told by Lord. So Lord took the 16th syllable and the 21st syllable and told tap to Brahmaji. Brahmaji heard this twice. Then when he heard this sound, Nishamyatad Bhakta Didrikshayadisho, he is searching. Where is this Bhakta? Where is this Bhakta? Who has spoken this? Because he's heard the sound tap. So he's searching. Who has spoken this? At the time he was unable to find Vichikshayat Tatra Anyada Apashyamanaham. He was not able to find out who spoke this word tap. Then he thought, better is I sit down on the lotus flower, lotus seed firmly and gave his attention to the execution of penance. Because the order is you chant tap. What to do, how to do tapasya? Okay. Then he started contemplating and he sat very firmly on his seat and started doing tapasya as he was instructed. Then Lord Brahma underwent tapasya for 1,000 years of the calculation of demigods. It is said that 1,000 years is 6 into 30 into 12 into 1,000 of our years. What is demigods? 1 celestial years, 1,000 years by the calculation of demigods. Now just imagine this, just 1 year of demigods, 1 celestial year of demigod is equivalent to our 1,000 years multiplied by 30, multiplied by 12, multiplied by 6. That is our that is a calculation of 1 celestial year of the demigods. Like the 1,000 celestial years has been done by Brahma. Like the 1,000 celestial years, tapasya has been done by Brahma. And then he controlled his mind and senses and and he did tapasya. And in this way, he gave great lesson to everyone. That is how he is said to be tapas, tapiyam, tapatam samahitah. It is said he is the greatest of all ascetics. Then, further. Tasmai Svalokam Bhagavan. So Lord is very pleased with Brahma, because Brahma obeyed to the instructions of Lord. That is known as Upanayanam Sanskar. Upanayanam means where your eyes are opened to the spirituality. And who does that? It is the spiritual master. So in the 6th verse, Upashanod has been given. Upashanod. Upa means towards the spirituality. Shrunod means to hear the instruction. Nayanam means to open the eyes. Om Agyanim Agyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is Guru who gives this knowledge and opens the door of spirituality. That is why the knob is from inside, not from outside. The spiritual world, the knob is from inside. It is the mercy of the spiritual master who opens the door of the spiritual kingdom. He gives the instruction, whoever follows the instruction carefully and sincerely, then he can enter the spiritual abode. So Lord was very pleased. Then he decided to manifest his Vaikuntha. So then the abode of Lord is free from all the miseries. That is why it is Vaikuntha. Vai means no. Kuntha means misery. There is no misery. It is free from all illusion. So Krishna decided, let me show him the Vaikuntha, the place of Krishna. Now Narayana stays in Vaikuntha, and Krishna wanted to show Vaikuntha, which is completely free from all the miseries. And there, no ignorance and passion prevail. To such an extent, even the so-called goodness of this material world does not prevail. There is no influence of time. Pravartate yatra rajastamatayo sattvam namishram nachakala vikramah. No time influence, no influence of any material modes. And then, in this way, there is no illusory external energy. So demigods and the demons, they worship the Lord as devotees. And how do the inhabitants of Vaikuntha look? There was another question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. How do they look? They are all sky bluish complexion. Everybody looks like Lord. The once it so happened, Sanat, one of the Gopasakha, he went to Vaikuntha. He said, hey, everybody looks like and if he has flowers, some they have earrings. If it is not maintained, immediately it will crush. But in the Vaikuntha, airplanes don't crush. There is no crash of airplanes. So many airplanes have been crashed, isn't it? We hear that even when we sit also, the air hostess gives the instruction. If there is some danger, what you should do, you should know how to jump from the window. And so many instructions are given. That means there also there is a danger. And the air hostess tries to warn us that don't think that flight, we will only hope that the flight goes very nicely. But anytime it can crash. But in Vaikuntha, planes are very wonderful. They're all glowing, brilliant. All are so brilliant. So we should think of going to Vaikuntha, isn't it? But devotees say more than Vaikuntha when we go to Krishna Loka. Why in Krishna Loka we can play with Krishna in the sweet form? Vaikuntha is an opulent office of Krishna, opulent form of Krishna, opulence of Krishna is exhibited. And ladies over there are very beautiful. All Lakshmis. They're all very beautiful. And they have complexion, the celestial complexions. It is said goddess of fortune Lakshmi is engaged in loving service of lotus feet of Krishna. And in this way, she is just engaged in service to Krishna. She loves to serve Lord. And she likes to sing the glories of Lord. Brahma saw all these things in Vaikuntha. He was so happy. He saw Lord of the universe. He saw goddess of fortune. And he saw that Lord is served by Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, Radhana, so immediate associates, all are serving Lord. And how is Lord? He's so favorable to his loving devotees. And his sight is very intoxicating and attractive. He has a very wonderful, gentle smile. He is also dressed in yellow garment, pitambari. He wears makara kundala. He has a wonderful helmet. He has 4 hands there. Krishna has 4 hands because he has to carry Shankha Chakra Gada. Padma, it is the office of Krishna. So there he cannot carry the flute. And his chest is marked with the line of goddess of fortune. It is a Lakshmi resides at the chest of Krishna. That is her place. So that is why when Durvasa Muni, he comes, he kicks the chest of Krishna. Bhrigu Muni. He comes and kicks the chest of Krishna. At that time, Lakshmi gets very angry. How dare you? How dare you step in the place where I reside? On top of that, Lord has also not done. Lord was massaging his feet. Instead of getting angry, but Lord did not exhibit anger because Bhrigu wanted to know who is actually the Supreme Lord. Is it Shiva? Is it Brahma? Or is it Krishna? Krishna never gets angry. But Brahma got angry when Bhrigu entered untimely. Even to such an extent, even Shiva was very angry. But when he kicked Lord's chest, at that time also Lord did not exhibit anger. Instead of that, what he was doing, he was massaging the feet of Bhrigu. Oh, my chest is so hard that you should have not got hurt. And Lakshmi gets so angry. Instead of getting angry towards Bhrigu, you are massaging his feet. Chalo, I'll leave you and go. That is how she leaves Vaikuntha and comes to Kolhapur and does tapasya there, Mahalakshmi. And there Vaikuntha is without Lakshmi. Actually, while massaging the feet of Bhrigu, Lord removes one of the eye of Bhrigu and removes his pride. But Lakshmi was not knowing this. Lakshmi is very simple-hearted. She is very frank. But Narayana is very diplomatic in behavior. Though he was showing as if he is very much calm, peaceful, he did something which even Bhrigu was not knowing. So Lord knows how to remove the pride very tactfully in a very smiling way. But Lakshmi gets angry very fast. Lakshmi got angry, left Vaikuntha. And then Narayana comes behind Lakshmi to pacify her. He should go directly to Kolhapur. He went to Tirupati. There he fell in love with Padmavati and was ready to marry. And somebody told to Narada comes and tells to Lakshmi, what are you doing here? She said, I'm doing tapasya. Narayana will come one day. So what Narayana has come also in getting married to Padmavati. To go and see. So when she comes to Tirupati to see, hey, what is this? My Lord, he should have come behind me, but he's getting married to Padmavati. When Lord appears, he does various leelas. So he's marrying Padmavati, or that marriage leela which has been showed to Vakula Devi. That was also the pastime which Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mata, they desired to see marriage of Krishna. So Yashoda, she did not see marriage of Krishna. Like how Devaki did not see the childhood pastime of Krishna. In the same way, Yashoda could not get this fortune. So Yashoda had this desire, I want to see the marriage of Lord. That is why just to pacify Vakula Devi and fulfill the desire of Yashoda, here Lord gets married to Padmavati. So that is another story. So Lord is seated in his throne and he was surrounded by different energies like 4, 16, 5, 6 natural opulences. So these all Brahma could see, and Brahma was enjoying within his heart. At the same time, because of so much of joy, his eyes were filled with tears. He just bowed down before Lord. And he says this is the highest perfection of living being. If one gets tears for Krishna, that is the highest perfection for Lord. Now, Lord accepted him. Actually, Lord, it's very difficult. It has been very, it is said, Lord never easily accepts any mystic yogis. But still Lord accepted Brahma. He shook hands with Brahma. Priya priyam pritaha mane. Kare sparshan. Sparshan means he shook. Kare means hand. He shook hands with Brahma. He was so happy to see the tapasya of Brahma. Then the Lord addressed to Brahma, I am so pleased with you. Tvayaham toshita samyak veda garbha sisrikshaya chiram bhrutena tapasa dushto shakuto yoginam. I'm so happy. Generally, it is very difficult to please me. These mystic yogis, they try to please me. Kutaha yogina. They try to please me by the tapasya. But I'm hardly pleased by the tapasya. But somehow I'm pleased with your tapasya. I wish you good luck, O Brahma. Shaking hands. So this shaking hands philosophy has come from where? But when Lord only can shake hands, if we shake hands to others, what will happen? We take their karmas. That is why never shake hands with anyone, just do this. This corona has taught to the whole world, don't shake hands. Even the foreign countries. People have stopped shaking hands. In our Vedic literature also, Vedic Vedic times, nobody used to shake hands because you're taking others' karma. They will do namaskar. That is how. Here, only Lord can shake hands with Brahma. And Brahma, he says, oh, I wish you good luck. Good luck for what? For this sub-creation. Now start creating again. And you have got my ultimate benediction because you have done wonderful tapasya. This is a result of your penance. And seeing me is your realization. So you have saw me. That is a perfect realization. The highest perfection what you have got is you have understood my abode and you have seen me. And in this way, this is only because of your yad upashutyaha rahasi chakartaha paramam tapa. You are so humble. You are humble, you are submissive. This is all the qualification of a disciple. You are a perfect disciple. O sinless Brahma, pratyadishitam maya tatra tvayi karmo karma vimohite tapo me hridayam sakshat atmaham tapaso annagha. You are annagha. You are sinless. Many people keep the daughter's name as Annagha. What is the meaning of Annagha? Sinless. So how can a person be sinless? Only by devotion. They keep their daughter's name as Annagha and make her do a lot of sins. Take her to the movies, make her see some wrong things and call her Annagha, Annagha. Annagha means sinless person. Who is a sinless person? Whoever does devotion is a sinless person. So such penance is my heart and soul. You have done such a wonderful penance. That penance is my heart and soul. And I am not different from your penance. Penance and I are not different. That means chanting the holy name of Krishna and Krishna are not different. Namachintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasavigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinatvam Nama Naminoho. There is no difference between I and the name. So whoever does nice chanting of the holy name, Krishna is personally present. There is no difference between the sound vibration of Krishna and Krishna himself. Like Brahma, he was first made to hear. Instructions were given. At that time, Krishna did not manifest. There is no difference between Krishna's instruction and Krishna. In this Kali Yuga, Krishna appears in the form of name, Namarupe, Kali Kali Namarupe, Krishna Avatar. Krishna has appeared in the form of name. So Krishna says, I have created this material world. Sujami tapasyai vedam, grashami tapasa punha vibhrami, tapasa vishwam viryam me dushcharam tapaha. I have created this energy. I maintain it by my only energy. I withdraw it by my energy. And your potential power is penance only. And therefore, the potential power is penance only. So by your penance, you can understand my potency, Krishna says. Then Lord Brahma, he says to Lord Brahma, what you want, you ask. He says, then Lord Brahma started glorifying Krishna. He says, you are situated in everyone's heart. Bhagavan Sarva Bhutana. You are present in everyone's heart. And you are achieved by superior intelligence. So I am praying to you, O Lord, to fulfill my desire. In spite of your, he says, may I be informed how in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form. So here now the question of Parishit Maharaj about different avatars. So Lord never assumes any mundane form, but still you don't have such forms. Like you appear like a fish, you appear like Varaha, you appear like Kurma. So they are not mundane actually, but people think that they are the mundane forms. So how in spite of your transcendental forms, you appear in some mundane forms, though it is not so. Then how by your own self you manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, and maintenance. And inhalation also, annihilation, for annihilation, for creation, for maintenance. How you manifest different energies. Please tell me everything. That is how I want to know. Please tell me that so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So instruct me and also teach me how this whole creation happens. And he says, you have shaken hands with me like a friend shakes hand to another friend. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities. I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation. But I pray that all this may give rise to pride, as if I were the Supreme. So just see how Brahma is so humble. He says, you have told me to do so many things. But oh Lord, it may give some pride to me, but it should not happen. I pray that this may not give any rise to pride. It may give rise, isn't it? Somebody does very wonderful things. Some mystic powers, by mystic powers, he does very wonderful things. And that can give some pride. He says, oh Lord, let me not have any pride. Mame samunnatha mado aja maninaha. Let me not have any pride. Madaha. Mada means pride. So even though I may do a wonderful task of creation and doing so many things, but actual creator, maintainer, and destroyer is yourself, O Lord. I may consider myself as a creator. And that may give me some pride, but O Lord, I pray that I should not have any pride. Then Lord told, knowledge about me is very, very confidential. Jnanam param guhyam me. It is param jnanam, but it is guhya jnanam. And then he says, all of me, namely my actual eternal form, everything has been awakened within you. I have already shown you everything, but still more you want to know. So then there starts Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam, which we offer. 4 shlokas. Ahamevasame nanyabhyat sadasat param. Paschadaham yat etaccha na yo avashishyeta sosmyaham. He says, before the creation, nothing except me, nothing was existing. There was no material nature. There was no cause of this material nature also. No cause of this creation also was not there. Whatever you see now is also me only. And after annihilation also, after destruction also, there will be myself will be existing. This value, if it is not in relation with me, has no reality, and that is my illusory energy. So if anything is not related to me, that is Maya. We should know how to connect each and everything in Krishna consciousness. If we are not doing that, then that is Maya. We should know how this illusory energy, which considers itself independent of Maya, actually it is Krishna's illusory energy. The Lord says, Yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu chashvasheshunu pravishtani apravishtani tatha teshu nateshvaham. Please know that this material universe, these elements enter the cosmos. At the same time, do not enter into cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within every living entity. At the same time, I am outside. So these gross material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, they all enter into the body of the many manifested entities like sea, mountains, aquatics, plants, reptiles, humans. At the same time, such elements are differently situated. So in the developed stage of consciousness, a human being can study with psychological and physical science, but the basic principles of such sciences are nothing but the material elements and nothing more. Then further, etavadeva jigyasam tattva jigyasanatmanaha anvayavatirekaabhyam yasya sarvatra sarvada. A person who is searching the absolute truth must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, both directly and indirectly. So everyone is searching after self-realization in different ways: karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, then you have dhyana yoga. To engage in self-realization is the responsibility of every living entity. How much they will search, it is not so easy. Better is understand be a servant of Krishna. If a person tries to go on trying to research out who is the cause of creation and tries to know the opinions of Lord, very difficult to find out. It is very easy to understand I am servant of Krishna, just take a broom and serve the temple, that is easy. But it is very difficult to find out the opinions of Lord. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with this inquiry about life. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Who am I? That is more important. Rather than to know who is Lord and trying to find out the opulence of Lord, better to know is who am I and what is my connection to Lord. Who is Lord is okay, very good, wonderful. But even to understand the opulence of Lord, it is not so easy. So Brahma just follow this conclusion by fixed concentration of mind, and no pride will disturb you. So he says, just understand one thing, that is the servitorship to Lord. Then no pride will enter, neither in the partial nor in the final destination. And Sukadeva Goswami says the Supreme Personality of Godhead, after being seen in the transcendental form, instructing Brahmaji, disappeared. On the disappearance of the Lord Hari, who is the object of transcendental enjoyment, Brahma with folded hands began to recreate this universe with Jiva Shakti and the Kala Shakti, the various material elements which has been given. With all this, Brahma started recreating. Thus, once upon a time, the forefather Brahma situated himself in acts of regulative principles. So he himself followed the regulative principles and desiring for the welfare of everyone, he gave the regulative principles to everyone. Then Narada, he was ready to serve his father Brahma. Manasaputra is Narada. Brahma's Manasaputra is Narada. So he strictly followed the instructions given by his father. Narada was very pleased with his father and desired to know more about the energies of Vishnu. Narada was the greatest of all the sages. Then great Narada, sage Narada, inquired in detail from his father about the glories of Lord. And Brahma was very satisfied. Brahma, the great grandfather of all the universe, after seeing him, was satisfied. And then, thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by Brahma to Narada. Srimad Bhagavatam, the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam was given to Narada. Now Narada gave this instruction, Naradaha prahamunya mune saraswatyas tate nrupa dhyayate brahma paramam vyasaya mite tejase. So now Narada, he instructed this knowledge to Vyasa. So we have seen this in the first canto Bhagavatam, where Vyasa was very much disappointed even after writing the Vedas. At that time, Narada comes there And Narada says, Tadvag Visargo Janata Gaviplavo Yasmin Pratisho Kamabaddavati Api Namanyanta Seshwan Kitaniya Shrumanti Gayanti Gunanti Sadavaha. So create such a literature, even though it may be Abhaddavati Api, it may not be properly composed, but create such a literature which is going to bring a revolution in the hearts of the people, will bring bhakti, vipalaha. So in this way, thus instructed here, Vyasa wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. That was also the question of Parishit Maharaj. How did Vyasa got instructed from Narada? Who wrote this Bhagavatam? So, O King, here Sukadeva Goswami says, your questions as to how the universe became manifested, as well as many other questions, I just gave in detail, the answer in detail by explanations of the 4 verses already mentioned. So in this way, in short, or in four shlokas, Lord gave this whole knowledge to Brahma, and in detail these answers were solved, these questions were solved by Sukadeva Goswami. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So today is Kati Mataji's mother's birthday. She's 83 years old. So it doesn't matter what age a person is. It matters how much devoted he is. We should be always in devotion. We should engage our senses and mind in Krishna's service. Hare Krishna.